Ron Silk out front by 4 car lengths. That's the biggest margin he's had in the lead all day long, Larry Mack.
Well, right now with the lead he's got out there, he's saying, you know, you can't even bump draft me or draft off me right now. This is definitely one of the biggest leads, which is not much of a lead, but the biggest lead we've seen all day long.
And we also see Szegedy and Santos together. Now Szegedy getting by Santos. But I'm thinking that maybe Santos' car is not where it needs to be, and Szegedy a little upset right there.
Wow. Did you see Teddy Christopher in that 51 of Justin Bonsignor?
Yeah, he just made a power move. But when I think about Santos and Szegedy, and how about Christopher in that 36 car, he wants to move up there to the top 30.
Bonsignor, he is one of those young up-and-coming guys in his early 20s. He's out of Long Island, wants the victory here on the big track, won at Riverhead Raceway, a little quarter-mile bull ring earlier this year in that 51 car.
I got to throw a quick note out there to the Cremanis. They have promoted Riverhead forever. Here's a guy that grew up. We see Charlie Bizarre, Richie. So many guys run out on the island. Good place to learn modified racing, and it shows. Monsignor learned a lot as he's running 3rd right now, and he's being pretty tough right now.
Running 7th right now in Old Blue. That number 3 is Matt Hirschman, Dick Berggren.
Well, Matt Hirschman is running a race of his life. He has not had a good year so far in the Bowler number 3 and has not got a ride nailed down for next year. A good run today could help him keep the ride in the number 3 or get him a seat somewhere else. I talked to him before the race. Hirschman in that 3, totally focused on making today the best run of his entire year.
Christopher to 2nd. Bonsignor is to 3rd, and take a look at this. Heartbreak for this team. Woody Pitcat did not pit during that caution period. He's on the access road in turn number 3.
I believe probably mechanical problems, Bobby. I don't believe gas was an issue here.
A little early for that.
Yeah, I think something probably broke on his car, but boy, the battle here. Look at Szegedy, Bonsignor, and Teddy Christopher. This is a whale of a race, man.
The old chrome horn coming into play. Look at that. They draft down the front stretch here, locked from front bumper to back bumper.
And I'm seeing the 23 car, Rowan Pennick. Remember, Rowan led this race for 23 laps. He's up there in the mix for these guys in that black 93.
Tom Szegedy in that Whisk number 2. He's a 2-time winner here at the Magic Mile in modified competition. Knows how to get the job done. But take a look at this. We talked about that this morning. The 36 car, Teddy Christopher, the all-time winningest driver here in 2 different divisions, the E-Series and the Modifieds. But look at the kid in front of him in that 51.
Yeah, the Bonsignor's done really well in the Modified Series for as little as he escaped the island. You know, he didn't follow this tour. He stayed controlled in the island, controlling his career, gaining all the experience he can. And I'm going to tell you something. He is doing a whale of a job right now. It's in the own car.
Christopher back to the bottom around the 51. Here comes Rowan Pennick as well, Larry Mack.
Yeah, when I look at Teddy Christopher, I think we've well documented. No practice, no qualify on Thursday. Actually, Mike Stefanik got in there and practiced his car because NASCAR has a rule. The car has to hit the racetrack before it can be raced.
Absolutely, and just to note, Bobby Santos III, he had to start at the rear of the field, and actually Todd Szegedy, one of his closest competitors here on the tour, he actually practiced that car, the Mystic Missile number 4.
As we see Beers trying to go to the inside. What's interesting, these 5 or 6 cars right here racing hard, and Silk maintaining his lead. Caution flag.
Taking a look around the racetrack, not sure why the caution just yet. The 28 car of Woody Pitcat
sitting on the
trapped
pit road.
there.
Trapped on pit road.
Exactly, can't get back to his pit stall, so he kind of has some of pit road blocked here for the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour. Tough break for Pitcat.
I like those blue wheels. I mean, I know
you do?
Old EW likes the flames, but I have to say I like the blue wheels. I never thought about putting them on my blue car.
Coming from a guy that used to run a blue car with white wheels.
White wheels, you're right, Bobby. Good memory. Boy, and it was hard to keep them wheels clean.
Especially the way you drove.
Oh, come on.
Woody Pitcat, he brings out the caution here, was blocking pit road. Ron Silk is your leader. Teddy Christopher started at the rear of the field. Last, he's up to 2nd. 62 laps complete in this race. Ken Hagee right there in that number 18 car, also another Long Islander.
Lucky dog for Hagen, no? Okay, 16's the lucky dog tonight. That would be Mike Stefanik.
Mike Stefanik, your 7-time NASCAR National Modified Tour champion. He's your lucky dog. He'll be marching his way back through the field when we return here at Loudon. Take a look at the 2011 season for the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. 13 races, 8 different winners. The top winner, Ted Christopher, has got 3 victories, and Todd Zegedy also doing well with 3 victories as well.
What's interesting is the amount of different winners we've had in 13 races. It goes to show you how competitive the modifieds are on a weekly basis.
Down to Dick Berggren.
Woody Pitkat is out of his car, deep in the garage. I asked him what happened. He looked at me with the most disappointed look I have seen in weeks and said, something in the motor. The team is all done.
Well, I think like any series that races here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, these long straightaways, even with the gear rule, it's hard on these engines.
Very hard, Larry, and you bring a great point up. And I think what's frustrating for anybody is you bring the best stuff you can to New Hampshire because it's a showcase, sort of like the Daytona 500. And be out with an engine problem that nothing the driver can do, as Newman is out also with an engine problem. Very frustrating for the team.
This is the 55th race for the Mighty Modifieds here at Loudon. They're going to come off of turn number 4 and get the green this time by. This will be very interesting to see what Teddy Christopher can do with a guy that's been so strong, Ronnie Silk.
A lot better restart this time, Larry.
Oh, trouble. Richie Palai goes around. Cars everywhere. Doug Coby, Bobby Santos III in that 4 car also involved.
We'll have to go back and look at this, but this happens a lot here in the Sprint Cup Series and the Truck Series. Someone spins a tire on a restart, collects a bunch of other cars.
The 79 car was James Savali for Hillbilly Racing. That's Doug Coby in the 52. Those cars, significant damage on both of them, stopped on the front stretch.
I mentioned it earlier. The tires are a big issue. These are wide open
right now.
As we see the tires, and this is what happens. Okay, chain reaction. The 98 of Rudolph didn't seem to get going, Larry, and it became a chain reaction event. Right
Tough
there.
to see what happened in front of Rudolph right there, but
did all good job, these guys, Bobby, missing this rack.
Yeah, Richie Palai in that 39 car.
There it is.
Here we go. You can see it once again, mid-pack. It looked like Santos did not get started right there, Spence.
It does look like Santos was almost what Teddy had. Probably missed a shift or something because it became a chain reaction, and then these guys just started, and usually the 3rd or 4th line, you get the end result of being crashed.
Tough break for James Savali. He is a former winner here on the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour, and a tough break for Doug Coby as well. Coby winning at Thompson on 9/11, and Coby actually ran top 5 here in July, so that 52 car always strong here at New Hampshire.
Yeah, James Savali, he actually has 16 career wins in the NASCAR Whelen Southern Modified Tour. There you see him climbing out of the car.
Should have won Bristol a couple of times. This guy runs strong at Bristol also, and he comes up here and visits the New Hampshire, the Magic Mile.
They brought the cars actually down the road, but no red flag. They are just continuing around this racetrack. That's Richie Palai. He's an up-and-comer here in the modified ranks, but done for the day here at Loudon. Go down quickly pit side to Dick Berggren.
Bobby Santos' car is having some sort of engine problem. They're really not sure what it is. There's no miss, there's no skip, but the car seems to be a bit down on power. Car number 4.
And that's not going to be good for that Mystic Missile right there. Brian Chu in that 88 machine, the lucky dog during this caution.
See some damage there on the left side. He actually, Jimmy, you pointed out, he was caught up in that little bit of melee on the front stretch there.
I'm wondering now, is there a possibility that would cause the problem with the engine? That, you know, that he didn't get up to speed like he needed to. Did he miss a shift? Who knows? It'll be interesting to see how he does in this race.
Yeah, certainly keep an eye on it. Ronnie Silk is your leader in that 6 machine. He chooses the outside on this restart.
He did the last 2 restarts, and let's see if he can get the jump like he did last time. Christopher gets a little better start. It just looks like you can keep her wound up when you're in that high side.
Yeah, it does look like that. Silk's been running that groove all day long. He's staying up about 2 car lengths higher through the corners, which is rare here in New Hampshire. It's working for him.
And it also worked for Justin Bonsignor in that 51 car. He moves past Ted Christopher into the 2nd spot. Todd Zegedy rockets by a couple of cars right there. Take a look at that. Ryan Preece in the 40, as well as Eric Beers in that 45 car.
I think this is go time. 29 laps here. Not a lot of time left to get in position on these guys.
This is a Saturday night short track race now that we got left.
30-lap feature.
And the thing that's interesting is Silk, once again, has run that groove, and he's maintaining that lead. So this is going to be interesting to see if these guys can get hooked back up, as we see Teddy back to the inside of Bonsignor. I believe these guys need to stay hooked up and see if they can get back to Silk. If they're not, they can fight for the 2nd position.
TC back to 2nd. Want to also note that Ryan Priest in the 40 car. That's a family-owned operation. He's running in the top 10 right now in the 6th spot.
Yeah, that's after qualifying back in the 23rd position on Thursday.
I think that boy right there has as much talent as a race car driver as I've seen in Ryan Priest. I'm really a big fan of this kid. I hope he can get a good run today and catapult that for a good run next year.
Ryan Priest with 3 third-place finishes here in modified competition at New Hampshire, but back up front, TC's trying to track down Ronnie Silk.
I think he got on his own now, and he realizes the groove that Silk's running. He's staying in this tire tracks, trying to make a move on Silk here, but I'll tell you, Silk's car is strong.
And oh, by the way, with 26 laps still to go, how about this? 21 lead changes already in this race.
You know, Teddy Christopher in that 36 car, 44 career starts here with 5 wins in the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. He's led 753 laps at this place.
He is the man, and I tell you what, he's tough-nosed, kind of like Spencer, honestly. You do not want to mess with Teddy Christopher, and it goes back to this. He's got that 3-tap rule. I don't know if you guys have heard of that. I tap you once to let you know I'm there. If I tap you again, that means you better pick a lane. And you don't want to get tapped the 3rd time because you're going around.
It's going to be a real hard tap.
Yes, exactly.
But the thing is Monsignor, I'm sorry, Penning, I'm sorry again. Silk. This guy,
so many.
I know, but this guy has really impressed me over the last 2 or 3 years in this modified car and doing a great job today. We keep saying about the lead he's got. This guy is focused and he keeps running the same groove, so he's got something working right now. It's going to be tough for Teddy, Monsignor, and Penning to make an issue with him, but they're going to keep trying.
Take a look at this. The active winners at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, Mike Stefanik, and this is just in this particular division, okay? Because Ted Christopher has some victories as well in the East Series. So Mike Stefanik, who's running 13th right now.
He got the lucky dog.
Spun earlier.
Back up to 13th. So was he saving his car? Wait for this lucky dog to pay off. Looks like he is right now. 13th position, less than 2.5 seconds behind.
Rowan Pennick in that 93 was staying glued to the back bumper of the 51, but here he goes to the inside in turn number 1 and 2. He'll pick up the 3rd spot.
Yeah, he did a slide job going through 1 and 2 and just slid right up in front of Bonsignor.
The big story here to me is that I see Beers back in here. These guys are trying to follow Silk now. We see Silk being in his high groove, and these guys, I figured out I need to move up the racetrack and see if I can catch Silk right there. Still a lot of dropping behind them. We're seeing Stefanik move up again. Interesting, Hirschman dropping back a little bit here. But all in all, I think we haven't heard the last of Stefanik either.
And that's a battle for the 10th spot. Matt Hirschman's got it. Zane Ziner from Bath, Pennsylvania, in the Gary Creddy-owned car, trying to get into that top 10. But back up front, look at the bumper tag right there between Rowan Pennick and Teddy Christopher.
And that, again, was in the middle of the corner.
Yeah, and I think that what it was is that Pennick was trying to get to the inside as we see him bump dropped again with Teddy. So right now he knows he's running out of time with 21 laps to go. Oh, he is really pushing the issue with Teddy. So Teddy must be holding him up. Pennick says, come on, Teddy, we know the 1, 2, 3. I'm here, let's go.
Want to mention as we watch Rowan Pennick go to the inside of Teddy Christopher, he'll get the position there. Justin Bonsignor just behind, but look at that 45 car right behind Bonsignor. Eric Beers, he's one of the veterans of this series in that Delange number 45. He's fighting for his ride right now. He does not know if his car owner is going to complete the entire year next year. He needs a good run to solidify that ride.
We mentioned earlier, comes in here 4th in the points. Talk about Eric Beers.
And what we see here now is 51 of Bonsignor tried to get underneath the inside of Teddy, but that high groove is working right now for these guys, and Bonsignor had to succumb to it and move back into it.
All right, guys, 19 to go this time by. Take a deep breath, because we got more coming from New Hampshire Motor Speedway with the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. We'll go right to the finish when we come back.